Okay, gotta say, this one's a doozy. We're going deep on, well, Peppa Pig,
All right.
but not exactly the Peppa we grew up with, right?
Yeah, no, this is different. You guys sent in this YouTube transcript. Peppa Pig baddies, and parentheses, it sounds like bad words, and parentheses, which, yeah, it kind of does.
That's a wild ride, that's for sure. But that's kind of the point of these deep dives, right?
Yeah.
We're not just looking at weird YouTube Kids content for a laugh, though I admit some of it is really out there.
It is.
We want to understand what this stuff, especially this transcript, tells us about the online world kids are growing up in these days. Like, what are they actually consuming online?
It's a whole different ball game than like what we think of, you know? We picture PBS Kids, carefully crafted shows, educational stuff, but YouTube, it's a whole other beast.
It really is.
And the sheer volume of content out there, it's mind-boggling. And a lot of it, well, let's just say the algorithms are calling the shots.
Okay, so you got to explain this whole algorithm thing a bit more. So these videos, they're not necessarily made by, like, educational experts with a curriculum in mind?
Not necessarily, no. See, algorithms, they thrive on attention. They're designed to figure out what keeps those little eyes glued to the screen, even for a few seconds longer. And what grabs a 5-year-old's attention isn't always, shall we say, highbrow.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kids love bright colors, loud noises, all that.
Exactly. So the algorithm, it picks up on that. It starts pushing content that's maybe loud, repetitive, filled with exaggerated emotions, stuff that might make us as adults go, huh. But to a toddler, it's like a siren song.
And this transcript, it's got all that in spades. Like the dialogue, it's just dot weird. Take this line, your elephant is so fat. Like, okay, classic playground insult, but it's delivered in this really flat, almost robotic way. It's unsettling.
That's the thing, right? It's not just the words, it's the delivery. It's like kids are still learning those subtle social cues like humor, sarcasm, even just the intent behind words.
Right.
They need to hear language used in context with the right tone to really understand how it works.
Yeah.
But this transcript, it's like the algorithm's trying to mimic human interaction without really grasping the nuances of it.
And that's where it gets kind of scary, right? Because it's not just silly insults. There's this one line, do you know how easy can make your life go? Was that a threat? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Is that a threat? Are they trying to be menacing?
Yeah.
It's impossible to tell.
It's that ambiguity that's so interesting and potentially problematic because we can laugh at the absurdity of it. But young kids, they're still figuring out the world. And when you throw in this kind of muddled messaging, it makes you wonder, could it affect how they perceive threats or understand social dynamics in real life? We don't know for sure, but it's something to consider.
For sure. And then there's this whole other layer to it, too. Like the title itself, Peppa Pig Baddies. It's deliberately edgy.
Right. Yeah.
Like they want to seem a little bit naughty, a little bit off limits. And that seems to be a running theme with a lot of this algorithmically generated content.
Oh, absolutely. It's tapping into that inherent human fascination, even in kids with a slightly forbidden, think about it, fairy tales. They're full of dark stuff, scary creatures, warnings about what not to do. Kids love that stuff. It's exciting. It's a little bit dangerous. And this kind of content, even if it's unintentional, might be hitting on that same nerve.
It makes you think, right? Like we've got these incredibly powerful algorithms designed to keep kids engaged at all costs, often at the expense of quality or even coherence. And on the other side, you've got kids who are naturally drawn to the exaggerated, the slightly scary, the things adults tell them are bad. It's a potent mix. So what does all this mean? I mean, is this just harmless entertainment, or are we like accidentally warping young minds with weird YouTube algorithms?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, we don't have a definitive answer. But that's kind of the point, right? This deep dive, it's not about giving you a clear-cut answer. It's about raising the questions, making you think about the stuff your kids are watching, even if it seems totally bonkers on the surface. Because maybe, just maybe, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Definitely a lot to ponder. And that's where we want to leave you today. We've given you a lot to chew on, but now it's your turn. What do you think about all this? Is this just the digital equivalent of silly cartoons, or is there something more insidious going on? Let us know, because this conversation, it's far from over. Until next time.